So I tend to get a lot of questions regarding watches, like what watch should I buy? What's a good watch for the field? What's the difference or the benefits of like a digital or analog? What's a quartz versus an automatic versus a hand wind and all that stuff. So this is kind of going to be a surface level video on all that stuff. So this is for somebody who really doesn't know about watches. So if you do know a lot about watches, you probably don't need to watch this. So to start it off with the cheapest form of watch that you can get, this is a Casio F91W. So this is, I believe that this is the most popular watch in the world. It's definitely the most popular digital watch in the world. They came out in the 80s and they've been used by everybody everywhere since then. You can get them for between $15 and $20 online. This one was $20 on cruisechicky.com. Funny enough, I have a discount code with them, and so you can save, $1. This is like the most basic watch that you can really get. You're gonna get it for 15 to 20 bucks. It's gonna tell the time accurately and reliably. It's gonna be durable enough, and if something happens and you completely break it somehow, then you're out $20 versus $200 or more. So kind of some basic functions. You get a little backlight in here that's a little green bulb, and you get your main watch that has like your day and then your date. You can switch it to an alarm clock, a stopwatch, and then set your time. So this is, like I said, the most basic possible watch that you can buy. It does the job, right? Like these have been used. Osama bin Laden always had one of these on his wrist, and these have been used to. These were like an indicator used during the GWAT to determine if somebody was potentially a terrorist, because they would attach these to bombs to set them off on the right time. If you have somebody who is just adamant about not buying a watch and they're always checking their phone for the time in the field, just buy them one of these, right? They cost nothing. They work. They're super thin. They're extremely lightweight. You're not going to notice it on the wrist, and it just gets the job done. So Casio F91W is probably the best watch to get if you just want to pay $20 and get it over with and then have a watch. I would say that some of the benefits of having a watch versus just using your phone are that, one, the battery life on any of these is going to be substantially better than your phone. And with your phone, think about the light that it creates when you just want to look at the time, especially like at night, under night vision. Your phone generally is going to have facial recognition on it to like face unlock, so it's going to blink. Some phones just constantly flash under IR regardless, depending on what it is. These aren't going to do that. Sure, you have illuminated indices and some of them, and backlights and other ones that you can potentially create a light signature of, but it's going to be a lot less of a light signature, and it's a very quick, easy way to see what time it is. Think about being on watch at night, or just on a patrol or movement at night, or even during the daytime. You just want to check what time it is. You check your watch real quick, and that's it. When I go to work and I don't have a watch on for whatever reason, I catch myself constantly looking at my wrist throughout the day just to see what time it is, and then realizing that I don't have my watch on me, and then I need to check my phone or my computer or whatever. So having a watch is definitely beneficial, even just day to day. And when you're talking about the benefits of it in a field environment, you don't need to worry about any of these, the screen getting wet and it not working. You don't need to worry about the battery dying because it's too cold out. You don't really need to worry about any of that stuff. And contrary to popular belief, the Quartz watches and like these battery powered watches on this side, an EMP is not going to disable them. So the current is too small on any of these watches to really have an issue. Maybe the Garmin here. I doubt it though. With just the way that like EMPs work, I really wouldn't worry about it. But yeah, having a watch on your wrist versus relying on your phone for the time is, it really doesn't take too much thought to see the benefit of it. So yeah, if you just want to spend $20 and get it over with, just get the Casio. People mod them all the time too. Like there's some cool stuff that you can do with them. I watched a video where this guy had put in like a removable like micro SD card in here, so you can store files and data and stuff. It basically just held it. It didn't really do anything, but I think he set it up to also pay for things, like through RFID, but then he put a little chip in there to be able to hold data for whatever. So that's kind of a cool modification. People, you can buy them in different colors, and people do a bunch of wacky stuff to them. So they're pretty cool. And worst case, if you get into modifying them for fun and you break something, like I said, you're out $20. So moving on to the next kind of tier, I would say, is a basic Quartz watch. So this is a Maratac GMT. Now the GMT is an additional time zone. So with this one, if you unscrew the crown and pull it into the first thing, you can set your GMT for an alternate time zone. So the benefit of this was that I wanted it. No, the benefit for me getting this was because this was a gift, and I wanted something that was going to be able to be passed down to my kids. And at the time, I was primarily a radio operator in the Marine Corps, so having the GMT function was nice for when setting the time on radios for encryption, because the time needs to sync on everything. But some of the other things that are nice about this versus something like the Casio are that the illumination on these is better. So the way that this watch works is that it has it's called Superluminova, and essentially the ambient light and light in general will charge all of your indices in your watch hands and stuff, and then it'll glow. And it's enough to where this one's super bright, so if you like go straight from daytime to pitch black, it's going to be really bright. But as the sun sets and the natural time kind of goes, you're going to be able to read it throughout the night, but it's not going to be blaring. I've never looked at it under NVGs to determine if it would give your position away or whatever, but I really don't think that it would be bright enough to do that. So this style of watch is kind of like a field watch or like a pilot watch, something like that. Generally the large triangle indicates a pilot watch, but this one has the large numerals on the outside, and then your 24-hour time on the inside. So I like this because it's really easy to take a glance and see, and especially doing stuff with air support and surface fires like I do now, being able to see and get a real quick time reading and be able to write down and start getting time hacks and everything like that. Something like this is really great for that. Or just in general, if you're trying to work off of a particular time hack, it's easy to look at it and instantly know the time versus something that may not have numbers on it, or maybe just sort of kind of basic like Roman numerals or something like that. So some of the features on this are that it's a titanium body, so it's going to be more durable than something like the Casio. It has a screw down crown, so it's going to be more water resistant. So this piece right here is called the crown. This is how you set the time, and it unscrews, so that way you don't need to worry about water getting into your movement, or like it popping out by accident. On the top, there's a sapphire crystal with an anti-reflective coating. So the sapphire is going to be scratch resistant, and then the anti-reflective coating is self-explanatory. So with something like this too, I like these because I like analog watches more because I think that they look a lot better, and because you can wear them in sort of any occasion and they don't really stand out as odd. Obviously your battery life with something like this is going to be really good, but I would say that the Casio here is probably going to have a similar battery life, to be honest, because it's like nothing. I believe that these are good for 45 months per the Maratac website. If I didn't mention it, this is a Maratac watch, a Maratac GMT that you can buy on CountyCom, and I love it. It's lightweight because it's titanium, and it looks nice. I've used it for years at this point. I've changed the battery once, and I took it to a watch shop, and the guy replaced it in a few minutes. So I probably could have done it on my own. I believe that in here there's just the way that these notches are, it's for a wrench, so you can just pop it out and replace the battery yourself. So realistically, I could do that at home if I needed to. So yeah, I really like these. You can swap out the bands super easily and put on a leather band or another band for whatever the event is. So, something like that is not like out of place in any setting, sort of like this is. So this is a Garmin, I forget what the Garmin Instinct Tactical. So I got this originally for fire stuff because it has a compass in it, and it'll give you like storm alerts, and you can see the sunrise and the sunset and all that, and the moon rise and the moon set, and you can customize all these screens. It does have a night vision mode, so the backlight just is super low, and there's all these different settings that you can get on these to do cool stuff. So I'm going to consider this to be a smartwatch. So a smartwatch is something that is going to connect to your phone, and you can control it through your phone, or you can do things. There's like cross compatibility between your phone and your watch. So with this, if you have it connected to your phone, it connects via Bluetooth, and you can get like heart rate readings. There's an app that you can send all this stuff to directly. So if you're working out, or like rocking or whatever, going for a run, you can track all your data, which is kind of cool. If you wear it at night, it'll track like your sleep, so it'll tell you how good or bad of a sleeper you are. This one, I just turned off all the Bluetooth stuff because it really does kill the battery. And then in terms of like counter signal stuff, a smartwatch is going to be easier to see. I don't like smartwatches because I don't want my watch to be another distraction. I already have my phone in my pocket, so if somebody texts me, I don't necessarily need to be able to see what the text is on my watch. But some people like having that. They can't always look at their phones, and if they feel their phone go off, they want to be able to see in case there is an emergency or something, at home or wherever else. So something like this, where you have the ability to turn it off and it still functions as a normal watch, is pretty nice. On a full charge, this will probably last about 2 weeks, and then it just has a rechargeable, a little port back here with a cable, so you can connect it to a power bank or a solar charger in the field and charge it up. I use this for weeks at a time and just recharge it and whatnot. And it is nice because I do not have a very good sense of natural direction. So if I'm on a patrol, or if I'm looking at a range or whatever, and I'm trying to gauge like, oh, what direction am I looking in? I can kind of get a rough guess. I don't know how much I would trust that azimuth, but you can sync the watch via GPS, and I forgot, but there is a GPS function in there. So once you hold it down, it'll acquire the satellites, and it'll tell you what your position is, which is really nice for getting to another spot. You need to give it an updated position report, pause rep. You hit that real quick and you see where you are, versus something like a Garmin 401, where you need to wear it on your other wrist, and you have to look at that to see. So that is the benefit of this. There are a lot of cool things that you can put in here. There are a ton of features in here that I really don't know about. Obviously, this one also has like an alarm, and the alarm with this one, it'll vibrate your wrist versus like just beep, which is nice. There's a stopwatch. There's like a ton of things for guys that are jumping and diving and cycling and all that. So these are like true sports watches, right? Like there's a ton of functionality that you get out of these for people that do a lot of active stuff. But like I said, the biggest kind of downside to something like this is that it looks out of place in certain circumstances. Automatically, it's going to scream. It's kind of like a Molly backpack of watches, right? Like wearing it in public is kind of going to scream that you may be a military age male. But at the same time, like a lot of people wear these for just biking and swimming and stuff. So I really wouldn't worry about it too much. You know, you don't need to be like total gray man. So yeah, these ones generally run you a couple $100. You can get them on sale, but realistically, I think that the price of these is generally about the same as like a decent Quartz. And then going on to the last one, the automatic. So this is another Maratac. This is the Pilot watch. These are my favorite kinds of watches, automatic. So the biggest thing that you can indicate that it's a mechanical watch versus a Quartz is the sweeping second hand. So as the second hand goes, it sweeps instead of ticks. You know, the benefit of a mechanical watch are that it does not take batteries. So as long as this one is mechanically sound, you know, you may need to get it serviced, something like this. But as long as it's mechanically sound, it'll work as long as I either wind it, or in this case with an automatic. The main difference between an automatic and a hand wind is that your automatic, there's a weighted like rotary in the back, and as your just natural motion of your wrist throughout the day, it'll wind the watch. So if you take it off, I think that they generally last for about 80 hours. So if you take it off and you let it sit for 80 hours or more, then the time will stop, and then you'll have to either rewind it or shake it a couple times, reset your time, and then go from there. Something else I forgot to mention with both of these watches are that they have a hacking movement, which is super important to me in a mechanical watch, or sorry, an analog watch. What a hacking movement is that when you pull out the crown, the second hand stops, so you can get a really good time hack. And on cheaper movements, they're not necessarily going to have a hacking movement on them. So you're going to pull out the crown to set the time, your second hand's going to continue going, and you either just accept that you're going to be within a minute of perfectly accurate, or you know, you can some of them you can kind of wind them back a little bit, and the second hand will kind of stay in place, and you kind of finagle with it for a little bit. But yeah, I prefer a hacking movement, because when you get close to the 12, you can pop it out, and then you can set your time exactly. So as soon as the time hits 0, you push it in and it continues going. This one also has a screw down crown, is also titanium, also has a sapphire anti-reflective crystal. And yeah, the biggest difference between this and the other one are that this one is an automatic. So it's going to be a little bit thicker because of that weight that's in the back, and the mechanism is generally going to be a little bit thicker. If you get something like a hand wind, they're pretty thin, so those are pretty nice. But I bought a Hamilton hand wind. Hamilton are a pretty good brand, and the second day I had it, I wound it up and I broke the mainspring, so that was not very cool. Luckily I returned it. But I do not have, I have a hand wind here, but I don't have one here on the desk. Kind of the benefit of like a hand wind to an automatic is that it's a little bit thinner, because you don't have that weighted wheel. But other than that, that's really it. You know, these are kind of the main categories of watches, I'd say. My favorite is going to be the automatic, even though they're potentially more prone to magnetism and shock. These Maratacs have like an iron case around the movement to help with be more anti-magnetic and a little bit more shock resistant. I mean, these are pretty durable. But something else that a lot of people don't kind of factor in with watches is like as a bartering tool. So, you know, yes, it may suck to have to barter away a nice watch that you bought, but at the time that for whatever you're doing, it may be more important to have what you're getting in return. So that is the benefit of something like this versus something like this. And, you know, something like this, you know, people may have the functionality or the desire to have something like that. I really wouldn't worry about something like this when it's in, you know, stealth mode and all that, and it's not connected to a phone to like hone in your position or whatever from some sort of technologically advanced OP4, because it's a GPS. GPS is a receive only. You know, you may be prone to GPS spoofing, but it's not going to like automatically give away your position if you if you want to look at your wrist and see the time. So I hope that this helped, at least in some regard. Like I said, it's a pretty surface, bare level overview. So yeah,